Yeah, I just wanted to take a minute and give my insight on a major topic that goes on in the game. And a lot of people have different perspective and different, ways to go about it. But I'm going to just give you guys a little, my perspective of how I feel about it. And that topic I'm talking about is dad coaching. Okay, to me, when I see a kid, the easiest way for me to find out that he's been coached by his kids, because it's usually the kid that got the suckiest attitude, the kid that needs a lot of work, the kid that walks around as if he's above the world. Okay, but before I get into it, let me pat it on the back, because you got to say the good things first. It is some dads out there that are good at what they do and they're good coaches and they know the game. Okay, I'm not talking about those people, but I'm just giving my perspective of what it looks like to me. So back to what I was saying. When I see a kid, okay, the kid that's the laziest, don't want to work, the kid that have the attitude as if you owe me something, it's usually the kid that's been coached by his dad. Okay, I'm not saying that all dad coaches are bad, but when you coach your son and you're a dad, you tend to coach with a blurry vision. What I mean by that is you tend to focus on more of what your kid do good than what your kid doing bad. So in that state of mind, it's like sometimes your kid may need to get better, but because he's still your kid and you have that relationship and you don't want to necessarily hurt your kid stays in the lineup. He stays at shortstop. Kid plays shortstop. You keep him in the lineup and the kid tends to not get better because of the blurry vision that you have. Now, I think, and this is just my opinion, that at some point in time, dad has to step away from the game and stop coaching their son. Okay? Now, I know you'll say, well, the coach isn't a good coach, so I have to coach my son. I understand that. And if you have that situation to where your kid isn't with the best coach, then you're not doing him any good anyway by letting him play for that team. So the best bet with that is to find somebody who do know the game that can coach your son. But you coaching your son for an extended period of time. Okay, I can say 9 through 11 or 9 and 10-year-old, it's sort of okay to coach your son and teach him the way about the game. But once your kid get to a certain age, I would say starting at 12U, it's time to cut the cord, dads. It's time to let someone else teach your kid the way of the game. Teaching your kid about failure. Teaching your kid that he isn't as great as he could be, or he might not be great at all. You have to step back and be a dad. Okay, a lot of times I see dads pushing their kid, when really the kid don't want what the dad wants. So you develop a relationship with your kid to where he feels as if he don't want to do something, you're going to be upset with him. And you don't want to have that kind of feeling. You want your kid to love you as a dad more than you want him to love you as a coach or even fear you as a coach. Because it's some kids that I deal with, I can see it. I can smell when a kid do not want to play baseball or any kind of sport, because the kid's going to show you he's not really interested in it, but you have this high energy and you're pushing it and pushing it. Dads, you got to understand that you still have a responsibility that does not have anything to do with the sport. And I always say this, it's a lot of parents, I'm not going to just say dads too, but it is parents, moms, because some people don't have their dads. But the thing is, you're so focused on the 99%, chance, or you're not focused on the 99% chance that your kid have of not playing the sport. It's only a 1% chance that your kid is going to make it. It's only a 1%, I'm sorry to tell you. Okay, it's only a select few in this world that's going to play this sport at a higher level. I'm sorry to tell you. But instead of parents focusing on the 1%, you need to focus on the 99% chance that your kid is going to do something other in life. Your kid has to learn how to be a better person. Your kid has to learn how to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. Your kid has to learn how to cater to a woman. Your kid has to learn how to take care of his responsibilities, show up on time. Okay? Your kid has to learn how to be a man. So I think that at some point you have to step back and be a dad. You have to let your kid know that, hey, I love you whether you play a sport or not. And we can have a relationship whether you play a sport or not. Because think about this. If you've been coaching your son since he was little, okay, and then eventually Baseball is over. What is it? What else do you have to talk about? If you never talk to your kid about anything other than the sport, what do you guys have? Nothing. Your kid's not going to know anything about you. Your kid's not going to know anything about life because you've been so caught up in the sport. So what I would say is take the time, cut the cord, and let the coach the kid. Step back. You don't have to yell from the dugout. I'm going to tell you this. If you train your kid well at home and your kid's been grinding the way that he is, your kid's going to shine without you even having to say anything. You don't have to stand out in the stands and say, hey, swing at that pitch, or hey, get down. If your kid has really been doing what he needs to do, you don't have to yell. You don't have to coach him. It should just be like a sit back and hit play. Watch what we've been doing. Okay? And then when you get in the car and your kid does bad, okay, instead of talk about what he did bad, how about getting in the car one time and talk about something other than baseball? On his worst game, get in there and just say, hey, you know what, let's go do something else. And whenever that kid is ready to speak to you or talk to you about it, then you open up to speak to it. But it's so many times where kids getting pressure from their parents to the point where they can't play and they feel as if they can't even talk to you about what they're dealing with or what they're going through. And that's why I think the world's going the way that it is, because there's so much pressure that a kid can't tell if a parent loves him or not. You have to show that kid that you love him no matter what, whether it's a sport or not. But I'm telling you right now, it's a 99% chance that you're not going to play a long time in the sport. You're not going to make it to college. But it's a great chance, okay? It's a 99% chance that you're not going to play, but it's a 99% chance that you can be a better person. You can be a better person if we have more dads take responsibility and put that same energy that they put into sports into actually teaching these boys how to be men, teaching them how to show up on time, teaching them how to work hard. But the thing is, I think it's tough to teach it because we have less and less men doing it. To be honest, okay? If we have more men being men rather than more men trying to be a coach, then I think that our young generation of men will be able to grow and make a better impact in this world. So it's just my insight on it. I'm not trying to sound bitter or, upset about it, but I think that if we have more men or more dads step up, okay, and actually apply the mindset they have for their kid playing the sport to the mindset that, hey, my kid got to be a better person. I mean, I think it'll eliminate all this kids yelling at parents, okay? The kids not showing up to practice, kids being lazy at practice. So I think we have an obligation as men to give something to these boys that no woman can give them. No woman can give them. They could try to, but it'll never quite be the same. So I'm here to say, dad coaches, all right? Step up and be more of a dad than a coach, because the kid needs a dad, somebody to go to, not just somebody necessarily yelling at them, because I'm going to do that enough. Us coaches, that's our job. We're going to get on to them, but they don't need it from you to the point where they can't tell the difference between are you my dad or are you my coach. All right? So leave your comments on your thoughts. I know, I went a little bit, different ways with that, but that's just my opinion on how I feel about it. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.